Hey guys, and welcome to Monday's Mindset and Manifestation. Nikki Ganjemi here. How are you doing today on this Monday? I wanted to come in and talk about 10 ways to stay motivated. I've heard from a couple of friends, just a few different people, that they're having a hard time staying motivated. And I can understand because I've had those moments too. But I wanted to share a few different things, 10 different things to be exact, that you can do so when you get to that place where you are having a down moment and you just don't feel like doing much, right? When that happens, because it will, especially right now with things being different, right? There's things happening right now in the world that we are not certain about. And we don't know what's coming up next tomorrow and beyond that. So we can easily slip into worrisome thoughts and being in fear. And those thoughts can feel really heavy and scary and make you not excited to do very much, right? So when that happens, there are some things that you can do, and that's what I want to talk about. So those of you who don't know me, I'm Nikki Ganjemi. I help you reprogram your mind for success, because that's really what this is. It's a reprogramming of the way you think. And what I want to say to you right now, if you're on the live, say hi. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay. I like to know when you're here with me, and I love to interact. You know that. What's the story? What is the story that you're telling yourself? And when I say that, I mean, what's that talk that is in your mind? That talk, that voice, not to sound crazy, but we all have that inner voice, that inner critic, that voice that starts from the moment you open up your eyes in the morning until you put your head on the pillow at night and you fall off to sleep. It doesn't end. It just keeps talking and talking, and we're either thinking about the past or we are worrying about the future. We're projecting into what might happen and how things might go. We replay scenarios in our mind all day, every day, and it can be really exhausting, especially when those scenarios are scary. And right now, if you're paying a lot of attention to the news, you could have a lot of scary things and fears and worries that are going to deplete your energy. They're going to scare you, and they're going to make you want to not do very much of anything, except maybe reach for that ice cream in the freezer. I had some ice cream last night at like 10 o'clock at night, even though I didn't want to. I wasn't hungry, but I thought of it and I said, I'm going for it. And I'm putting Hershey syrup on that ice cream. So we do these things, or maybe it's wine or whatever, but so I'm digressing. Let me get back on track. 10 ways to stay motivated. So when this happens, what we want to do is we want to notice. We want to become aware of it. But there's some things that we could put in place to help us stay focused and to stay motivated. So how many of you are just not on your normal routine? You're not going to work. I know we've got people that are still going to work, are essential people like doctors and nurses and anybody in supermarkets. There's certain people that their routine hasn't changed. If anything, they might be working more. And then there's a lot of us who are working from home and maybe don't have very much to do. So we're kind of knocked off track, and that can be scary. So one thing you can do is to go to bed and get up at about the same time every day. I know for me, and probably a lot of you, it's easy when we don't have some place to be. It's easy to just kind of slip into going to bed super late and then sleeping in the morning and then maybe hitting that snooze like I do a lot. But that really doesn't help us to be motivated, right? And to just kind of keep going. It doesn't give us any kind of momentum. So commit to yourself to that I'm going to go to bed by a certain time each night, just as if I was going to work, and I'm going to wake up at a certain time each day, just as if I was going to work. We like routine. We're creatures of habit. We like habit. So what habits can you set up right now that are going to help to motivate you? A second thing, and this is going to sound very simple, but get up and take a shower as if you're going out and get dressed. Put on something that makes you feel good. Do your hair and makeup if you're a female. Just do something to make yourself feel good. I can't tell you how many times that I've thought, well, I'm just gonna stay in sweats all day and I'm gonna do my work, and I was having a hard time. I was distracted, I couldn't stay focused, I kept just feeling sluggish and tired, and I would make a cup of coffee, and I felt a big difference when I would actually say, you know what, I'm going to pretend that I've got meetings today and I'm going out, and I'm going to just get dressed as if I'm going out anyway and throw on some makeup and do my hair. And the energy was different. I just felt more up, more awake, more alive. So try that to help yourself feel more motivated. The third thing is maintaining a routine. So we kind of talked about this already, but perhaps it's creating a new schedule. A lot of you are parents and now you're homeschooling your kids. So on top of trying to keep your business going or worrying about what's next and what you're going to do, you've got kids that you've got to school. So establish a routine, and kids love that too. I remember when I was a teacher in the classroom, if ever I changed anything, they were the first to tell me, we don't do that after snack. You know, they liked their routine and they wanted to anticipate what was coming next. So part of that is that's how we feel safe. Our brains are wired for habit. And when something goes off and we're not used to that, all of a sudden we can easily go into that fight, flight, or freeze mode where it's like, oh, I don't know what's happening next, and it could get a little scary. And this all happens in a matter of seconds, and usually it's subconscious and you don't even realize it. You're not even aware of it, but it's still happening in your mind. So this setting up a schedule for you, this is going to be your new norm for now. That's also going to help you to not get distracted, because it's so easy for just the day to slip away. Have you ever said that? Like recently especially? I don't know where the day went. Somehow it's 5 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock. Where did the day go? So when we set up a routine, a schedule of some kind, and you just kind of put it down, not that you've got to be rigid and really stick to it, but it could help you to work in chunks. So you know, from this time to this time, I'm going to put my focus on this. And then when I'm finished, I'm going to take a little brain break. I'm going to do that for myself. And then I can get back to whatever it is that I choose to commit to. The fourth thing is get up 15 minutes earlier to take time for you. This is before you let the world in. I do this every morning. I don't get right on Facebook and emails and instant messenger and reply to people. I'm lying. I did that this morning because I had a 10 o'clock interview and I wanted to check and make sure we were still on. But typically, almost 100% of the time, I don't invite the world in until I've had me time for me to get centered, to get grounded, just to kind of see, what am I thinking? What thoughts are coming up? And do I want to put them down on paper? So something like journaling or looking at your affirmations, writing affirmations, listening to maybe affirmations that you've recorded, meditating, doing different breathing techniques, just doing something to just calm you down. Maybe it's prayer for you if you're religious. Whatever it is, the point is that you don't just wake up and take on the world, that you have this little moment where it's just you, and you do whatever it is you need to do to feel calm and to feel centered, because only when you are in a good space mentally are you able to show up in a good way for other people and for your family. So in order for you to do your best, you've got to be your best. You've got to be able to feel your best. So give yourself that time first thing in the morning, and then you can let life in. Does that make sense, you guys? Let me know. Post in the comments below. The fifth way to stay motivated is to check in with yourself. ask, how am I doing? I just set up a reminder in my phone to say, how's Nikki doing? And where can I pivot? Meaning, we don't ask how we're doing. We ask how other people are doing, but what about the most important person, which is you, right? If you're not here, you can't be here for anybody else. So you matter. Okay, I'm going to say that again. You matter. And when you feel good about you, you are in a better place to help and serve others, whether that is your spouse, your kids, family, friends, clients. You've got to be good first. So check in with yourself, and hopefully this could become a practice where you start to check in with yourself a couple of times a day. And it's just a matter of pausing. And I'm looking at my water because I was just thinking, if you can connect it to something, that way it becomes, you'll remember it. Like if you commit that every time I take a sip of water, I'm going to ask myself, how am I doing? And eventually, every time you go to take a drink of water, it'll become a habit. You'll wire that into your brain. So you'll just start to automatically ask yourself, how am I doing? Just kind of checking in and noticing how you're feeling. Because a lot of times we don't feel great, but we don't notice until it manifests physically, until you start to have a headache or tightness in your chest or a little tugging in your side. Then you notice that something's up, right? But what if we could just check in with ourselves regularly and then ask yourself, where can I pivot? Pivot meaning just shift. If you're feeling a certain way, let's just say you're feeling afraid, because a lot of people are feeling afraid right now. If you're feeling afraid, it's because it's the thoughts you're thinking. So just ask yourself, what am I thinking about? And for me, it helps to write it down. Because if I don't put it on paper, then the thoughts just kind of stay in my mind on a mental loop. And then I don't know what to do with that. But if I put it on paper and I could see it in black and white, now my intellect can come into play, and consciously I can see that thought and say, is that true? Is that true right here, right now, in this moment? Or is it just a belief? Or is it just a worry? Or am I projecting? So when we do things like that, when we check in with ourselves to see how we're feeling, we can then kind of come back and we can help ourselves like back off the ledge and be like, okay, right here, right now, in this moment, I'm okay. Things are okay. And there's nothing to be afraid of right now. And I'm talking about the moment, in the moment that you're in. So that's number 5, check in with yourself. You matter. How are you doing? Number 6, exercise. I know gyms are closed. My gym, I was going 3 to 5 times a week to take classes, and I do miss that, but you can still get outside and walk. The kids right now, I could hear them outside, they're playing. So you could still get outside, get some sun, fresh air, even if you work out in your house. Some of us in my Pilates class, we're doing Pilates online, but we're using Zoom, and a lot of people are using Zoom now for a lot of things. And you can use that maybe for getting a group of people together to work out with at home, or even just doing whatever. Put down a yoga mat and do some yoga stretches, and there's plenty of things you can Google, and you can still be active, still get your body moving. That will help you to stay motivated. The 7th one is listen to a podcast or something on YouTube that is around personal development, something that's going to put your attention on something different. So minimize the news, stay informed, of course, but try not to stay too wrapped up in the news all day long, because it just will bring you down. So one of my favorite podcasts to listen to is the Jim Fortin podcast. That's Jim Fortin, Fortin. He's a transformational coach, and everything is transforming from the inside out. So again, it's just another way to focus on you and what's going to make you show up and be a better person, and that just that motivates you to want to keep going in a positive direction. Number 8, read. Who loves reading? I love reading. You can read a book. I read every day. You could listen on Audible. You can listen to the audio of a book while you're doing something else, and just get that again. It's like, what are you filling your mind with? Are you filling your mind with things that are good and abundant? So think about that. Right now I'm rereading the book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. And it's just such a great book. I highly recommend it for understanding how your subconscious works, how it's running the show, how right now you're breathing. Because of your subconscious, you don't have to think about it. It keeps you alive, but it also keeps those old stories alive in your head that just keep playing again and again. And we can either live in the past and be held back and self-sabotage and all that, or we can find ways to move forward and live our best lives. So read a good book. Number 9, drink more water. I have to tell myself this too, because I'm good for a bottle a day, and I know that's not enough to stay hydrated. But sometimes, and this is not even sometimes, it's just when we drink more water, we feel better. Sometimes if we need more energy, you just need to drink more water and be hydrated. And again, you can tie the water with an affirmation. So when I think of water, I think of abundance, because where I live, there's plenty of water. Turn on the faucet, the water comes out for cooking, for cleaning, showering. I went to Costco yesterday and they had tons of water bottles, whereas a week ago you couldn't get water. So there's a ton of water, and that's something that every time you go to drink, you can say an affirmation like, I am abundant, something like that. Again, it's making that connection where I take a sip of water, I say this new mantra. Beliefs are just thoughts that you keep practicing. So if you practice the mantra, I am abundant, eventually your brain is going to believe it, and then you are going to start attracting more abundance. All of a sudden, you're going to have an abundance of clients, an abundance of people wanting to work with you, an abundance of whatever it is that you want and can see and can feel and can imagine. I'm smiling because I love this topic. It could be so easy, right? It could be really easy if we allow it to be easy and if we don't get in our own way. And number 10, the 10th way to stay motivated is to stay connected. We're connected right now. If you're watching this, we're connected. I did a virtual dinner with my sister and brother-in-law Friday night. We FaceTimed and we had dinner together. They were in their house, I was in my house. We can still stay connected, and this is like something to really be grateful for. If you don't know what to be grateful for right now, I'm grateful for Zoom. I mean, I was already running my business on Zoom, but now doing Pilates on Zoom, doing happy hours with friends on Zoom. I did 2 happy hours this weekend. So there's things to be grateful for. FaceTime, just having your phone and being able to pick it up and call someone or text somebody, but stay connected. People are still getting out and hosting virtual events, and there is just an abundance of opportunity for connection. So when you stay connected, you don't feel like you're alone, and you're not. Nobody's alone. We're all connected and in this world together. So do stay connected, and these tips, I'm hoping you'll pick one or a few of them and implement them. And I can tell you, because they work for me, and also clients that I recommend this to, but they'll work for you too. And just, again, I like to keep everything simple. So you don't have to try to remember all these 10 tips. You certainly don't have to implement all of them. What's your favorite one? Like I told you, my favorite one is the getting up 15 minutes earlier, just to take that time for me to journal or do some tapping or meditation, just something, because that makes me feel good. And then when I feel good, I show up better. I show up better for you. I show up better for clients. I show up better for family, friends. So any questions that you have, please post them below. Today is Monday, Mentor Monday, so I'm going to have that post in the group. Anything that's weighing on your mind that you need support with, please put it under that thread, and I will show up for you, whether it's in a live video or something. But ask, and I can help. So have a fabulous Monday, everybody. Stay healthy, stay well, stay abundant, and I will see you all on Thursday. Bye for now.